Welcome to Second Edition, our first show of the season. We hope you stay with us for all 6 of our shows this spring. Tonight, a big sigh of relief for Edmontonians and the city's biggest union as a strike is narrowly averted.
Also, lots of buzz at Nate regarding bee hotels. We'll tell you about a workshop here on campus to help protect our greatest pollinators.
And finally, spring means playoff season is upon us for our Ooks women's hockey team, and they've sure had a successful run this year. It was over before it even began. Negotiations finished in the 11th hour, and now the CSU 52 has now announced that agreements have been reached with the city, and a strike with one of the city's biggest unions will no longer be taking place. This strike would have affected over 6,000 workers, 311 city rec and leisure centers, as well as all Edmonton public libraries being among them. The city and CSU 52 were able to come to tentative agreements on March 13th, hours before strikes were set to start, when the city returned to continue talks after they had stalled out in early March.
The divide between the workers and the city was quite big at first, and so yeah, this was a very difficult deal to get to, and there's a reason why it came literally at the 11th hour before a strike.
These new deals are set to cover the next 4 years before they will be up for renewal once more.
Nate's hiring fair took place yesterday, giving students a great opportunity to connect with employers. This event focuses on hiring fresh graduates with less than 3 years of experience. It gives graduating students a chance to meet employers and get an interview for open positions.
We're looking for applicants for various different trades. I mean, we work at Jefferson Armory just across from the school, so we're hiring infantry, armored, intelligence, and I believe medic.
The career fair allows students to talk about skills that may not always be on a resume, such as joining a club or any other extracurricular activities that they may do.
Demolition began Monday on the former Nate LRT station in favor of a public art installation in landscaped area. Demolition is expected to take 2 months, while landscaping and building of architecture will happen in October. During October, Nate's S parking lot will be closed, removing 28 stalls temporarily.
Oh, it's a little further of a walk, but it is a nice station.
Not that much, I'd have to say.
This one's $5 a day, and it's the cheapest option, but now it'll be completely closed, so that's putting so many students out of parking spots, which means that then they have to take the LRT.
The demolition will impact some weekend LRT services mid-April, with details to be provided by the city later. When construction is done, Nate will have new artwork and a new public area.
As Nate's Sustainability Week goes on, students have the opportunity to make something that will help out our favorite bumbly little pollinators, the bees. With over 800 species of solitary bees out and about in Canada this spring, they need a safe place to rest in between pollinating our local fruit and fauna. Nate's Bee Hotel Making Workshop will help give them that safe place to have more bees, since their numbers have been on the decline due to growing habitat loss.
You want the bee hotel to be facing the sun, ideally, and you also want it to be above the snow line, because if it's below the snow line, it's going to get wet and frozen. You also want the bee hotel to be horizontal so that snow and rain can't go into it.
The hotels will be put up in the next few days, and with the help of the participants, we are one step closer to saving the bees.
Hey Sam, did you hear the Oil Kings hosted a fan appreciation night this past Sunday?
No, I didn't, but I did hear the Ooks women's hockey team planned on bringing home some hardware on Saturday. Our Kylie Betts has more.
Thanks, guys. The Nate Ooks women's hockey team was in the ACAC finals for the 2nd year in a row. They had a huge 2-0 win on Saturday against the Lakeland Wrestlers, landing them gold on home turf. The Nate Ooks fought hard for an early lead. Assistant captain Bree Martin buried 2 pucks in the net, making it 2-0 in the first. The Lakeland Wrestlers didn't score, giving 29 Caitlin Slater a shutout.
We were able to capitalize on, the opportunities that were given to us. And I think, when Lakeland was down, I think we took advantage of that, and we were able to, put the puck in the net, which ultimately led to success for us. So.
That caps off the Ooks 2023-2024 season. Bree Martin and Caitlin Slater ended their career with the Ooks on a high note. Rogers Place was filled with kids on Fan Appreciation Night as the Edmonton Oil Kings took on the Swift Current Broncos in a 9-goal game. The Swift Current Broncos defeated the Oil Kings 5-4, but 17-year-old Gavin Hodnett gave them a run for their money, scoring twice. Gavin Hodnett is the Oil Kings' top point getter with 66 points and 21 goals this season.
For 2 months here, like, it's been absolutely incredible to be with this group and just be with these guys. And obviously it sucks to fall short of the playoffs, but to be with these guys and to see us grow as a group, it's only going to lead us into next year and into the future.
The Oil Kings fell short of the playoffs, but will be hosting their team awards game this Sunday against the Red Deer Rebels. Sure is wonderful seeing the Ooks women's hockey team strike gold this year.
Right? They did great, and they definitely deserve that win on their home turf.
Man, I'm so excited to see them back on the ice in September. I really hope I get to see a game this year. Well, that's all the time we have for hockey. Thanks, Kylie.
Well, after the break, we will find out about an ever-needed but not well-known hospital service, Star Ambulance.
And open your minds and pick up a paintbrush so you can learn about painting pots and mindfulness.
All this and more after the break.
The men's volleyball team ends the season with one of the biggest accomplishments after winning nationals for the first time in NAIT history.
Our Taya Gargas sat down with a fifth-year setter for the men's Ooks volleyball team to learn more.
Thanks, guys. As we take down the nets for the season's end, today we celebrate the victory for our men's Ooks volleyball. I will be sitting down with Carter Godden to discuss his thoughts and feelings about winning nationals. I know you are a fifth year, so how did you lead new players on the team?
Well, I kind of did what my leaders did for me in my first and second years. It's just whenever they have questions, kind of lead them to the answer and kind of give them what they need to thrive in the sport, I guess.
I know that you're a fifth year and you won't be returning because you'll be graduating, but do you know any other guys that will be returning?
We're going to have a pretty solid team next year. Our setter Mason's staying, so a bunch of our Kiwis are staying. So yeah, we're going to have a really solid team next year, and there's going to be lots of depth that was shown this year going into next year as well.
So why do you think you won this year opposed to other previous years?
I think this year it all came down to depth in our team. I think there was, well, you can only have 7 guys on the floor at all times, but realistically there was 12 or 13 guys that could have been on the floor playing, and it was just kind of a battle for a spot all year, and it just really pushed our guys to the limits all year.
Being a fifth year, how have you contributed to your team's success in winning nationals?
I kind of lead by using my voice, talking to the guys, being the, I guess, the ball of energy to provide to the team, so that's kind of the way I see myself contributing in those ways.
How does it feel to be a part of a team that won nationals for the very first time in NAIT volleyball history?
It is a crazy feeling, and I keep getting compliments on, oh, they're first team to do it, first team to do it. It still doesn't feel real, but it's really awesome.
With potential players returning and players leaving, will they take home another win next season? I'm Taya Gargas with Second Edition.
NAITSA has found an inventive way to promote mental health through creative pot painting.
Our Lucian Blackburn is on the case with the NAITSA Peer Support Coordinator to get to the root of this event.
NAITSA is always looking for new ways for students to find peace of mind and express themselves while doing it. On March 20th, between 11 and 1 p.m., they'll be hosting the Earthly Expressions pot painting event. I sat down with Hazel Sanchez to discuss it. What's the connection between mental health and sustainability?
So there is some research that say that having contact with nature actually helps to improve your mood. It helps you to less get anxious, and helps with your stress as well. So yeah, I think that's the relationship between sustainability and mental health, that they kind of like help each other, and it helps you to be in a better mental space. It helps you to be in a better mental space.
How did the people at NATSA come up with the idea for this event?
Well, I was having a meeting with my manager, Ali. She asked me to come up with an idea to put an event during the Sustainability Week. So I was thinking how peer support can be related to sustainability. So we came up with the idea to do this painting, pot painting. We were thinking that allowing students to have a little plant they can grow in their houses will help them to concentrate, will help them to boost their moods, as well as painting itself. It's pretty nice for them to relax and take a time for themselves. So forget about everything happening in school and then just focusing on this like little clay pot. So that's how we came up with the idea of sustainability and peer support. Yeah.
How is painting good for your mental health?
Well, as I mentioned before, many people, they like to paint to relax. Some others, they express their feelings through painting. So in this, at this time, in this occasion, we are looking to let students rest for a bit. I know it's exams week for some of them, including myself. So I believe taking the time for yourself to just focus on painting and trying to express your feelings in that pot will be beneficial for everyone. So that's what painting is. It's, for most of us, is just taking a time for yourself and trying to express yourself through paint and colors.
Well, Hazel, that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank you for this
Thank
interview.
you.
And
Thank you.
For telling everybody about the Earthly Expressions.
No worries. Please stop by, say hi, and happy Sustainability Week.
STARS Air Ambulance is a vital asset in swiftly transporting patients to hospitals, saving precious time and lives in urgent situations.
Our Randy Cormish sat down with STARS Chief Pilot Al Baldwin to learn more about the importance of STARS.
Thanks, guys. I'm Randy Cormish with Second Edition News, and I'm here at Alan Baldwin's house, who's the Chief Pilot for STARS Air Ambulance. And I'm going to be interviewing him about the importance of STARS. Hi, Al. Thanks for joining me today. So, how important is the service that STARS provides?
Well, yeah, so I think it's very important. Our one slogan is critical care anywhere, so we really try to provide a service to the province of Alberta and, of course, Saskatchewan and Manitoba to try to get to people that are having one of the worst days of their lives. We fly pretty much all critical patients that are in dire need of advanced medical care.
How important is the STARS lottery for your organization?
It's very impactful. The Alberta government funds us about 50% of our operating costs, and the STARS lottery is a large portion of the money that we have to raise to continue operating. So between the lottery and then, of course, donations, that funds the other 50% of our operating costs.
Could you take us through a typical mission?
Yeah, sure. So we always fly with two pilots, a nurse and a paramedic, and we have a doctor that's on standby that may or may not fly with us depending on the nature of the call. So the call will come into our dispatch center, they'll give us a call, the pilots will check the weather, make sure everything's acceptable for weather and whether we can get to where we're going and not. The medical crew will be talking to whether if it's a scene call, so if it's a car accident or something like that, they'll be talking to the ambulance service, and if it's a hospital call, they'll be talking to the doctors at the hospital. Well, I started flying in the military, flying helicopters, and did about 10 years flying helicopters in the military. I got out, flew for a couple of companies, and then got on with STARS in 2002, so I've been there for just about 22 years now, and I've loved every minute of it.
Hopefully you learned something new about STARS. I'm Randy Cormish with Second Edition.
Well, I'm not very artsy, but I'll be sure to get my brush and try painting a pot.
For sure, me too. And coming up, we're going to learn something new with our hosts. Welcome back to Second Edition. We don't know how we'll watch movies and your favorite TV shows in the future, but we sure know the past. Before streaming, there were DVDs, and before them, like prehistoric times, we had VHS.
Well, we're going to tell you about one place that is a smorgasbord of relics you can explore. Speaking of smorgasbord, we get to learn about how you can make the best charcuterie board.
And we'll get to find out more about the fascinating world about comic book stores. More on this, our on-the-site reporter, Ava Warrens.
Hi, I'm Ava Warrens with 2nd Edition, and today I am going to be showing you one of my favorite comic book stores, which has to be Warp Comics. Now I am in Warp 2 Comics. It's a comic store. It has like a huge Batman mask on the front of it, and it's a really cool store, and I'm going to be showing you some of the cool collector items that they have in the comics and the kind of things that they carry.
I'd say over the last couple of months, the Ultimate line by Marvel, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate X-Men, they've done really well for us. A lot of the new Star Wars titles are doing pretty well. Saga, whenever it comes out, also does well. And again, a decent selection of other stuff has been doing well for us.
Another really cool thing about this store is that you are actually allowed to bring your pets in. So this is actually my dog. This is Mando, and he loves coming in here.
I guess Berserk is more of a manga, but it does really well for us. Probably our most popular selling manga series. One Piece does very well for us. Actually, Dragon Ball is picked up just because of the recent passing away of the creator of that particular series. And then honestly, like Spider-Man is always popular. Honestly, Batman, Joker, very popular stuff for us. For independent stuff, as I think I mentioned before, Saga does pretty well for us. We even have like a recommendation shelf of staff picks, and that stuff is picked up just because we're stuff that we've read before. Like I don't read a lot of comic books personally, but I have a few odds and ends that I enjoy.
And a lot of collectors that come in here, they are sticking to more Spider-Man things now.
Spider-Man's always been the biggest title. A lot of collectors are looking for variant covers of stuff that you can only get if you order a certain amount of an issue. For example, we just sold a Spawn exclusive that every store, I'm not sure every store in the world got, but it was like a freebie one of to all the stores, and that one sold for like $250 because it was that requested. It was signed by Todd McFarlane, the artist and creator of Spawn.
Did it sell out really quickly?
Yeah, we had a lot of people requesting for it, but at least one of our regulars got it. That's why we prefer that our regulars get first crack at that kind of stuff.
Do you find that a lot of people head to the card section or the figure section, or more of like the graphic novel section?
To be honest, we're a bit of an everything store. We definitely specialize in card games like Magic the Gathering, Lorcana, One Piece, all do very, very well for us. Definitely probably our biggest contributor. When it comes to comic books, when the new releases come every Wednesday morning, that's when we get people not like a ton of people lined up the door, but we have some people waiting first crack at it, especially if it's something special, something that's like unique that everyone's looking for. A new, like a introduction to a new character. As soon as that's something that pops up, like in like Spider-Man or Batman, there's people looking for them just because they think it might be a good thing to hold on to, worth more down the line.
Right, so that was some insight on some of the most popular comics and, well, I guess overall topics.
Hello, my name is Peyton Schwartz from 2nd Edition, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make the best charcuterie board ever. And when I mean ever, I mean ever. But first, this shirt is tight, my neck hurts. We got to get into some more comfortable clothing when we're making the charcuterie board. Let's go. This is much better. A lot of people think this is a good charcuterie board. No, we're gonna throw this away. Today, I'm gonna teach you how to make the best charcuterie board. Let's begin. Before we start making the charcuterie board, of course, you guys are going to need some ingredients. So I'm gonna pop the ingredients right here up on the screen. Look at all those yummy ingredients. But first, you guys, there is a very important rule you guys must know when you guys are making a charcuterie board, and that is the 3-3-3 rule. The 3-3-3 rule means you must have 3 meats, 3 cheeses, and 3 accompaniments. You might ask, what are accompaniments? There are such things as bread, fruit, nuts, or veggies. So guys, the first step into making the best charcuterie board is of course cutting the cheese, but make sure you guys are being careful so you guys don't cut off any of your fingers. Next, you guys are gonna need some vegetables. These are just random ones I picked up at the store. You guys can go get them at the store. We got some peppers, we got some carrots, we got some olives. So now we have to add these to the fancy wooden board. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're probably happy. You're probably so happy that you made this beautiful, beautiful charcuterie board. But I'm sorry to ruin your day. You're not done yet because there's another step that a lot of people seem to forget, but it is the most important step to making the best charcuterie board. This is called an accompaniment board where you can put anything on it. That's why it's a huge part of the charcuterie board. Listen, that was the last step, but there's actually one more. We have to add one more ingredient, and that is arugula. So after you guys are done, you guys just sprinkle it on there, and you're complete. And after that, you guys are officially done making your charcuterie board. So now you guys have learned today how to not make this charcuterie board, and you've learned how to make a masterpiece. This is Peyton Schwartz from Second Edition. Thank you for watching.
Hello, I'm Seth Shulak for Second Edition, and today I'm here to talk about this fun store called The Lobby, selling all sorts of DVDs, VHSs, and Blu-rays. So, let's take a look, shall we? In this current age of digital media?
No, not at all. I've had my video store dealing with physical media for 20 years. I would say there was a time when that was becoming a potential, when the streaming sites first started coming out. But I think things are kind of going the other way again. I think there's too many streaming sites now. People are becoming frustrated with that to the point where they're paying for 20 or 30 streaming sites. The prices are insane. You might as well bundle them up and call them cable again. Also, I think true collectors that love cinema and love this whole kind of world, like this video store, they want to still own it with the cover, with the bonus features, with the director talking about, the movies. Building up yourself a physical media library of cinema is no different than building up books in your personal library. When you have people come over, having a collection of what you're all about is, it shows whoever you're showing your stuff to, like, hey, this is part of me, man. So it's a reflection of your personality and what you love. It's tough to do that, to show people when you're just like, check out my streaming site, man. Look at these movies I've watched. I'm like, it's just not as cool.
And how do you feel about said streaming services that you mentioned?
Well, streaming services are great. They do serve a purpose. I mean, mainly for me personally, it's television shows, really. And also, it's a great way to discover and maybe to preview. It's no different than listening to music on Spotify. If you love a song, you will probably go out and track down that band and get the album. Same with if you love a movie that you saw on a streaming service, you will want to hunt that movie down, maybe the director's other movies too, to add to your personal collection. So to me, it's like streaming services, whether it's movies or music, introduce you to the art, and then once you become infatuated or know what you're looking for and love it, that's when you will go down and get the physical media. And thank God it's still being made.
And where do you see this place in 5 years?
I got asked that question 10 years ago. It's funny. There's no retirement plan in something like this. You just love what you do, and obviously I just do my best to, as the younger generation comes into the store, to remind them what good cinema could look like, what it can be, and maybe the movies they love. It gives me joy to be able to recommend movies that were older and maybe better, but based off the stuff they love. So 5 years from now, as long as the landlords of this building haven't decided to tear it down and turn it into condos, hopefully I'll still be here with an even bigger collection.
This has been Seth Shulak, Second Edition. I hope you guys had fun with that Blast from the Past experience as much as I did. And see you guys later.
I don't know about you, but with Easter coming up, I might have to make a charcuterie board myself.
Right? And I'm definitely going to check out the lobby to find something new to add to my film collection.
Well, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this first show as much as we have.
And be sure to come back next week to see the Team B in action in their first show.